And apparently Rosa teleports us to Cecile's bedroom. Well, that certainly conveys that the two are pretty close, that she considers this place to be a pretty safe zone. Though again, I wish the character writing in this game was good enough that we could see some actual depth to their relationship. I also feel kinda bad for Kane, since this would really hammer home that he has no chance in hell with Rosa. But then it's not like the relationship between Kane and Rosa has all that much depth either. Well, I suppose that's one way to keep things rolling forward, despite the bad guys already having all 4 crystals. Just claim that there are 4 more crystals a villain needs that nobody really knew about before now. Excuse me for not feeling all that much hope at the moment. This just feels like an ass pull the way they're pulling things off. Sure, we saw some hints that there's possibly an underground world in that village that talked about dwarves, but for one thing, we only saw that village because I was wandering around with the airship. We didn't strictly need to go there. Hell, I'm pretty sure plenty of players in their first run through the game might not even go there just yet. Yet, only strictly need to go there when it's time to open the path underground right now. But that doesn't change the fact that the plot just went from the enemy only needs 1 more crystal to finish their collection of magical artifacts to, oh, there are 4 more he needs. And since they mentioned the moon, it's not that much of a leap of logic at this point that we might need to get a spaceship to get to the moon. Not that they specify which of the 2 moons. Remember, the world this game is set in has 2 of them. Another thing it would have been nice to get some warning about. Seriously, technology in this mostly medieval world is good enough for the engineer to have an autopilot on his wooden airship? It's like this game runs on ass pulls. Apparently, you're not allowed to wonder about plot holes like that, Cecile. We're only allowed to keep pushing forward. Again, the story issues are kind of easy to let slide considering Final Fantasy 1 and 3 had no story at all. It was just us restoring 4 crystals, then taking out whatever monsters were left in the world when the crystals were all accounted for. Again, I've heard there was some measure of storytelling in Final Fantasy 2, but the gameplay is just such a clusterfuck, even with the Pixel remaster, that I just don't feel it's worth ever trying. At least I'm willing to give Final Fantasy 3 a go at some point, though. Right, still nothing we can do for the twins here. They're just some crappy decoration on the way to a throne that nobody actually sits in anymore. Seriously, why are there 2 guards in this room and 2 at the door to enter the throne room when there's no king? I'm sorry, but Cecile isn't gonna have time to become king until the end of the main game. Not that it feels like it means anything at the moment, just like it doesn't mean anything that all these humans in Baron Castle are supposedly on our side. Really feels like we've got 4 characters on the team right now that could do a good job as frontline soldiers, but we've only got 3 slots to be on the front line. Again, the formation idea was an interesting one, but this game is just so outdone by so many other games in this series and in other games within the genre that do formation-related stuff that it just feels annoying here and now. Really, it just is such a half measure this first time. Is there even anything to work on at the moment? Are you just going to get to work building more airships to replace whatever fleet we had before Golbez just casually robbed us of every ship in the fleet? Seriously, when the bad guys owned Baron, they had an air fleet that nobody could possibly match. When the good guys have the same damn kingdom with the same damn manufacturing ability, despite the visible technology level, the only airship we're allowed to have at any point is the one we stole from this same nation when it was under the control of the bad guys. What is with semi-friendly black mages casting spells on the heroes when we talk to them? I mean, it made some measure of sense when we were in the village that was pretty much holding a grudge against Cecile's pre-game actions, but here, it's just weird. Don't worry, the story won't allow you to have any actual role out here, considering the kind of tale this is. Hell, a few of the outright named characters in this story feel a bit superfluous. Seriously, what does Yang bring around here? He's just in this for the sake of giving the party a hand-to-hand combatant. Anyway, we've just erased the last save where Tella was alive. Anyone feel the need to mourn the poor bastard? Because sure, he had one of the few actual subplots of the game. He had a personal motivation to stop the bad guy, other than he happens to live on the planet that's going to be in danger. But he never really had any character growth. I miss his utility more than his personality, and we were probably getting to a point in the game where he just wasn't going to be able to keep up with the rest of the team for much longer. Anyway, time to open up the underground. Kind of wish we at least saw a little light at the well on screen as we heard that sound effect. Okay, this is a higher resolution cutscene. Hopefully that volcano going off isn't gonna absolutely fuck over the village we're currently in. Though considering this is the only means of entering the underground for the heroes, I have to wonder how the hell the bad guys managed to get down there, and I'm sure they'll be there faster than us. As a side note, nobody in town seems to have reacted at all to the goddamn ground blowing up and leaving a massive fiery hole not too far from where they live. I'm not asking them to be running around in a goddamn panic, just for them to go, well, odd weather we're having right now, isn't it? Nope, the dialogue does not change in the least. They are entirely static as the world around them changes. Again, this is an older game, and storytelling wasn't all that extensive before this game was made. Final Fantasy IV was the inspiration that a lot of other role players in this genre needed to be born. It had an undeniable impact on gaming after its release, but it's hard to deny it didn't age well. How's about the thing that happened less than 5 minutes ago, where the goddamn mountain just next to the village blew the fuck up? There's a difference between the occasional earthquake and a mountain turning into a pillar of fire. I swear it's downright ridiculous. Okay, looks like I'm finally getting around to spending some significant money on healing items. It certainly took me long enough. It's no longer sealed, and that should be bloody obvious to everyone within a 50-mile radius. And of course, the only way in is with the airship, because apparently it wasn't enough to make it impossible to reach the entire island outside of an airship. We needed to make sure nobody could just casually walk into the hole that leads to the center of the damn planet. I know the observatory is more interested with things in space, but come on. Something pretty interesting happened right near you. I know, it's a bit ridiculous that I'm expecting the game to really pay all that much attention to what's going on at the moment, when a lot of games made in the same era would never allow the non-player characters to really acknowledge much of what goes on if they aren't themselves plot important. Still, we saw the people of Varen have some measure of reaction to previous events. Anyway, looks like Golbez still has all the airships, despite the fact that the soldiers in Varen are no longer under his sway. Not the most intense or interesting battle I've ever seen, but nice to see that the bad guys aren't just easily rolling over the people underground. Which line are you trying to bust through? The airships or the tanks? Well, considering the speed of this thing, isn't it possible we could just fly around the big fight instead of going straight through the goddamn middle of it? Oddly disappointed we didn't crack against that bit of rock on the way down. I'm pretty sure that trench was there before our ship started sliding against the ground. Huh. Kind of amazed we didn't lose anyone from that, especially considering this game loves to just rip away various members of our team with little to no warning. Then I guess we're just gonna have to walk for a while until we're given some other means of flying around. Okay, might be a better idea to have Kane in the back since his jump attack doesn't have to worry about range anyway. Anyway, we crashed right next to a castle where nobody is going to try to kill us. Wish I could say that's convenient, but there have been far too many things that have felt even more convenient than that on our way to this point in the game. The obscene number of things that go right for the heroes is completely balanced out by the absurd number of things that go right for the villains. Neither side really comes across all that well. Well, the story is still rolling onward, so may as well roll with it. Well, there's certainly plenty of items to buy around here. Not too sure which of the things available here are a good idea to buy, since we don't know what status effects the enemies down here will cause. Still, may as well stock up on the things that would be most annoying to deal with. Not a massive amount, but still, just enough in case we happen to get lucky. Or unlucky, really. Ah, good. Now high potions are available in the stores. I would have liked to have seen that back before we dived into the magma-filled underworld. Maybe it would have prompted me to stock up on healing items before we ended up going through the magnetic cave and that bloody tower back to back. Why do I somehow get the feeling those dolls are going to end up being important later on? Oh yeah, because this game has so little space that anything that has even the slightest bit of attention drawn to it probably means that it's going to be important later on. But the only thing that's there for the sheer sake of coloring the world around us seems to be the dwarves having a special greeting. I certainly doubt a simple greeting like that is going to mean much of anything. Anyway, time for another cutscene. Well, at least this king has a different sprite from the other kings we've seen so far in the game. I'm not too sure I'm a fan of this game's version of dwarves, though. Visually, they look like they're just trying to draw in the same kind of cute appearance that black mages have, and it's not really fully working for them. Anyway, of course the bad guys somehow manage to gain half the damn dark crystals before we even show up. They need some successes to help them come across as menacing around here after all. Ugh. Well, if they're going to be willing to help us repair it, I have to wonder what the point was in it getting damaged in the first place. We could have had some other reason to just drop off in front of this specific castle. Wait, you can just casually get Mithril to reinforce a wooden ship enough to keep it from lighting up from flying over lava? I'm sorry, but considering how major Mithril is in Lord of the Rings, that just feels a bit ridiculous to me. At the very least, it should be something pretty expensive. But it's not like we have to pay for this upgrade that's gonna happen, and I don't hear Cid having to worry about any kind of monetary issue there. Someone who managed to hear where the crystal is, since we asked that specific question, and the king felt no need to hide it despite the fact that we only just met. He has absolutely no way to know just how trustworthy we are from this meeting. Yeah, definitely way too trusting. The people he only just met are allowed into the chamber with the mystical item that is extremely important to the safety of the world. Is this supposed to come across as creepy? Because all it's really doing is reminding me that the sprites in this game are so basic that the dancing ladies just don't have all that much mobility. And of course, our heroes are just gonna stare vacantly at the dancing dolls in front of them. I'm sorry, but it's gonna take a lot more than that to greet me out. Especially when I'm busy just groaning at the sheer lack of initiative from our heroes. Seriously, is it really so hard for at least one of them to try to get to the crystal and make sure that these doll things don't grab it first? Ugh. Anyway, time for a bit of a boss fight against a bunch of random dolls. Hopefully the princess down here isn't gonna get angry with us for breaking these things, but hey, if they're attacking us, there's not much reason in showing mercy. And they attacked us in the same damn chamber as the crystal. I'm pretty sure that means they were about to steal it for Golbez, and we only just arrived in time to prevent that. I suppose I can't really blame the Dwarven guards for not expecting a bunch of dolls to be enemy agents, though they should have noticed that they were laying around where the princess likely wasn't playing around. Okay, so 3 dolls remaining means that the survivors all merge together to become a super doll or something? Strange, and certainly not something that the game gave any hint might happen. But then we've gotten a lot of crap that we were never warned about at the moment, including Cid disappearing from the party just before a major fight. Though his excuse for leaving was certainly better than most others, that's for sure. He's got engineering work to do. Oh, what fresh bullshit is this? Did our medic honestly get hit by a confusion spell? Come on, Rosa, I know this clip has been a bit nonsense, but I need you to stay focused here. should I bother asking how a unicorn horn manages to cure that set of maladies? And why do I have the very distinct feeling that the unicorn that gives that horn doesn't do so willingly? All I really know for sure is that was not buyable in the store just before this fight. Yikes! That's plenty of damage for a single strike. I know Yang isn't the best armored fighter we've got here, but dear God, we should not be taking hits that are 4 digits long. Especially since we don't have anything that can heal anyone by such an obscene degree. Okay, bit rougher than I would have liked it, but we managed to win that one without all that much trouble. If you're the one who starts the fight, then you don't get to call the person who beat you a bully. And I'm reasonably sure that Golbez already knew that the Dwarven Kingdom had one of those crystals. He somehow managed to get 2 of them before we even showed up down here. Wait, did the main villain just teleport in here, or was he always standing in the corner and just wanted to watch how we fought those dolls? Not that it really matters, this just feels like an odd time for us to fight against him, especially just after we beat another boss. We haven't had any time to recuperate. I'm sorry, but I've never been a fan of stories where the main villain does his villainous things for the sake of gaining more power. Especially when the villain is already pretty damn powerful compared to anyone else around him. Why do I have the distinct feeling those heal spells to Yang aren't gonna mean much of anything here? Okay, so we're not actually allowed to hurt Golbez himself here, which raises the question of why did he bother to show up if he was just gonna stick his dragon on us? A dragon that has an instant kill spell that we have no means of blocking. Seriously, a scripted loss after a fight we absolutely had to win? This is... ugh. The hell? That's a familiar looking dragon. Huh. So Golbez's dragon was that damn fragile? On one hand, I really want to cheer at the fact that Rydia is back. Definitely my favorite character of the game. Especially since she came pretty damn powered up here and ready to bring the pain. But I'm pretty sure the last time I saw her, she was around 10 years old. And that sprite looks like she's aged a lot faster than anyone else on the team, for no apparent reason. Well, at least we're doing 1,000 damage per hit to Golbez, even if it's only 2 of our team that are conscious enough to hit him. I'm sorry, make that 1. Rydia, I thought this was your big moment to be a big damn hero. Why did you have to go down just before Golbez was defeated? I'm sorry, Cecile, but there's still a lot more time on the clock than what the credits should be. We aren't done with this story yet. Wait, so the big monster that attacked our ship and killed all those nameless sailors kidnapped you? All so you could forget how to heal and become a more badass summoner in a hyperbolic time chamber. Good God, really wish we were allowed to see Rydia grow instead of it just happening in a flash. And this certainly changes the dynamic I thought the game would go for, where Rydia was Cecile's adopted daughter or something. I thought we just did, hence why Golbez is laying on that shiny floor behind you. Oh, now what? A hand. Cecile? Cecile, can you grab it? Maybe step on it? Something other than just watch it dumbly? Oh, you've gotta be shitting me.